So, long story short, girls get it done. Barbie was like really fing good. I think what I found most impressive and most endearing about Barbie was how it managed to walk a tightrope between tones better than most movies manage on one end or the other. Gerwig and Baumbach managed to write a script that is full of amazing zingers, incredibly biting moments of satire, and an absolute avalanche of Easter eggs and references. Yet, crammed in between all of these moments of legitimate hilarity are some incredibly sincere character moments and commentaries on the human condition. And somehow those moments manage to hit even harder because of the perfectly executed tonal whiplash on display throughout Barbie. This is not the sort of tonal whiplash that's disorienting and unenjoyable that you feel when a movie doesn't know what it wants to be or the words it wants to say, but that sort of more magical kind that you might feel when you're on a roller coaster that you know you're loving. Whatever comes next, you haven't the slightest idea, but you know it's going to be great because everything else so far has been great. It's not always that you don't need to go into a movie that you're excited for with some degree of bated breath. I talked about this in my last review that I did for Dead Reckoning, but when you're wanting to love something, there's always that tiny little fear in the back of your mind that eats away at you. It makes you wonder if you're only getting your hopes up for you to be eventually disappointed by the time that the credits roll. I would say every single thing about Barbie managed to melt those feelings away almost instantaneously. An inspired and hilarious opening sequence paying homage to Space Odyssey kicks Barbie into high gear, and no one lets off the throttle for a good 2 hours or so. The jokes, the themes, the set and costume design, hell, even the music was phenomenal. I don't know how present Barbie dolls were in the lives of the cast and crew of this movie growing up, but if I had to guess based on the love that went into sculpting every single bit of plastic and pink and each corner of the various dream houses in Barbie Land, I'd say that everyone involved in this production was a certified superfan, and I mean that as a incredibly sincere compliment. Even me, a dude whose only exposure to Barbie growing up was the Toy Story movies and passing side-eyed glances at my younger sister when she played with them, I could just tell how much heart and soul was being injected straight into this film's DNA from people who not only cared about the property that they were working with, but about the people who this property mattered to, and giving them something to be proud of and moved by. Much like the Lego movie, creating such deep and realized characters out of literal pieces of generic plastic is enough of an accomplishment on its own. But weaving these characters together, intertwining the journeys they go on into a narrative that is not only entertaining but meaningful to the viewer, is on another level entirely. Gerwig has been making emotionally resonant movies her entire career. Even when her subject matter is uniquely feminine, the way she delivers her thematic messages are all-encompassing, captivating Ken and women alike. It was true for Lady Bird, and it is incredibly true for Barbie as well. Speaking of Ken's corruption, his ballooning ego, and his crash back down to reality, while all entirely hilarious through and through, are still filled with biting and relevant comments on the male-dominated society women find themselves trapped in. A society that keeps them down in so many ways, yet expects so many impossible standards from them all at once, and all the while claims they have it just as good, if not better, than their privileged, free, and easy counterparts. I mean, come on, if I was a woman, there's absolutely no way I would be able to make it this long as a mediocre at best movie reviewer with middling viewership numbers and a subpar subscriber retention rate. But, back to the movie. Enough of me professing my progressive ideas like the airheaded Mattel CEO played by Will Ferrell. Margot Robbie really embodies everything the main character in this movie needed to be. She has an aura of confidence and charm that serves Barbie so well. She's obviously gorgeous by every possible way of looking at it, and for a character called stereotypical Barbie, she's quite clever, both emotionally and intellectually. All that's to say that when her road gets rocky and things start to crumble around her and her life is no longer part of that dream world, it's all the more visceral. I mean, if she's not above going through all of this, what does that mean for the rest of the world? If she can't escape the issues plaguing all of womankind, who can? That's why I think it's so cool that the people who are most integral in getting Barbie through her fall from Dreamland aren't some supermodels or heroes who inspired the dolls of the past, but just a mother and a daughter. Characters who are much more representative of real life and relatable to an average viewer. They get some of the most moving, most inspiring moments in the film. I've seen a lot of amazing movies this year, but Barbie might have some of my favorite lines of dialogue of 2023. Mothers stand still so that their daughters can look back and see just how far they've come. I am neither of those things, and that line had me on the goddamn ropes in the theater. I was fighting back tears, and so were other people that I saw Barbie with. The entire speech about what it means to be a woman, their entire essence being contradiction after contradiction that is not only expected but demanded of them, that scene landed spectacularly for me, hitting all of the right emotional notes at all the right times. And beyond what's there to speak to women and give them a message worth hearing, there's so much else that's just blanketly fantastic about Barbie that I just want to run through real quickly. Like I said, Ken's arc is great, it's absurd and it's goofy, and all of the Kens are comedic relief embodied, but they're still serious and never undercut as characters or people. Again, this is just more credit to Gerwig and the entire cast and crew for being able to strike this difficult balance. Every single actor and actress in this movie knocks it out of the park as well, and were literal treats to see on screen. There was an infectious and fun energy that seemed to pour out and take over the theater, and that was so great to experience and be part of. Robbie, Gosling, Ferrara, Sarah, Liu, Farrell, Mackie, McKinnon, Greenblatt, Fennell, Shipp, Perlman, Mirren, hell, even John Cena. They all looked like they were having a great time, and it was infectious. The final battle was perfect camp to me, and as was the magical musical number performed by Ryan Gosling. This entire movie was a cultural event containing enough praiseworthy gags, jokes, bits, and moments to merit a rewatch or even 3. There's nothing to dislike about Barbie. Truly, you have to either be incredibly lame, insecure, or seeking out something to be upset about if you find Barbie problematic in any way. Or all of those things. Or insecure in your own identity because you're stuck with a definition of masculinity from when TVs were deeper than they were wide. Barbie is radiant positivity and uplifting energy distilled into 2 hours. It is pure fun, crowd-pleasing enjoyment brought out to save the summer. It is nothing short of a magical dessert that you order because you want something decadent and delicious, but all the while it manages to be nutritious food for your soul as well. No notes, straight to print. Catch you when this thing makes like $1 billion because it deserves every penny of that. Barbie is sublime. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Until next time.